For a second date update with a woman named Whitney. Hi, Jack.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad. Yourself?
I'm doing all right. I guess I could be better. I just kind of was hoping for some answers on a date that I had recently with someone.
Yeah, that's what we like to do on Second Date Update is provide answers at the very least, and in some cases we're able to actually get a second date out of it. So we'll see what we can do. You want to take us from the beginning and tell us how you met Whitney and how that first date went?
Sure. I had met her online. I met her through Bumble, and we were talking for a little while, so I gathered that everything was going pretty well going into this date. We went out for drinks, had some Italian, and I thought it was a really good date, to be honest, because we mutually had this chemistry, just natural chemistry, you know? We talked a lot. She would ask questions, I would ask questions, and it was pretty transparent from what it seemed like. Lots of back and forth. And, I mean, I don't know what happened because it seemed pretty much like it was a 50-50. And we covered a lot of topics, like a lot of touchy subjects, like you're not supposed to talk about politics or, you know, the craziness that's going on with COVID.
It's hard to avoid these days, you know? It's just everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. We even talked about, like, even touchier subjects. But I was glad to just, like, be with someone who I could just have, like, a rational discussion with. And, you know, even despite with all the serious stuff, we got to talk about the funny things, our families, work. It was a great time. So at the end of the date, I walked her to her car, and we bumped elbows with our masks on. So I just kind of wanted to respect her because she didn't really want to go in for a hug. I understand. But I don't know.
Were you feeling beyond this great give and take back and forth? Let me ask the obvious question. Were you attracted to her?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Did you feel she was attracted to you in that way?
Yeah. You know, it's definitely like there's a distinguishment when you actually look at someone in the eye and then you almost look like you want to kiss them. You know what I mean? Like we had that type of
moments.
We had that type of chemistry.
Oh.
So
you were feeling that from her.
I at least I thought that, you know. But I've been trying to text her, and for those few times that I have, she hasn't even responded. Like I could see that she read them, which is you know, sort of rude.
Yeah.
But I was just hoping that maybe you guys could have a better chance at luck.
You know, I'm bad at that, too, because, like, I'll get a text or I'll get a message and I open it, I read it, and I do intend to get back to that person, but I can't right in that moment, and then I get distracted and I forget about it. I mean, maybe she is intentionally avoiding you, but that does happen.
Yeah.
But how long have you been texting her and she's not been responding?
It's been about a week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
when you talk about all the touchy subjects you felt comfortable enough to go to, it's all well and good if you are sort of on the same page, but did at any point you feel like you lost her on any particular topic? Like, oh, we were talking about politics, we were talking about COVID or shutting restaurants down or whatever, and then the energy changed.
Well, do you think she really agreed with you or you were in alignment with her on all of these things, or was she just agreeing to avoid the debate?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible that she might have just agreed just to, you know, quell any arguments if they were to arise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a pretty logical guess. I mean, I really don't know because, you know, she kind of played it off pretty well.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was hoping you guys would come in. Hopefully, you know, I could see where I went wrong. Mm-hmm. Maybe it was me, maybe it was her. I really don't know.
Okay.
She gave you the eyes. Did you follow through on the look, you know?
Not beyond the elbow bump, it sounds like.
Yeah, it obviously didn't really transcend too well if it ended like that, you know.
Okay,
but
just double checking.
Maybe she was disappointed you didn't go for it.
Maybe. I just didn't want to pressure anything that, you know, didn't need to happen. I mean, sometimes the first date, it's a little bit more classy, and then, you know, maybe the second date. Because some people just don't engage like that on the first date. They just want to see if you're worthwhile for the second or the third. Some things that are worth waiting for take time.
Are you a pretty experienced dater? Is this something you've done a lot?
It sounds like he is.
I mean, I've had a lot of long-term relationships, and I just got out of one recently. So I would say that this is the first one in a little while.
Okay.
Can't really say that I'm an experienced dater. I mean, I've only dated 2 people for a very long period of time.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Then why don't we do this? We'll take a break. When we come back, we will call Whitney, and we'll ask her, what'd you think of Jack? How'd the date go? Any chance of ever seeing him again?
Yeah, I would like that.
Then stick around. We'll do that next. As we continue, Jeff and Jen, second date update on Cincinnati's Q102. So Jack meets Whitney on Bumble. They go out for drinks, have some Italian. There's a natural chemistry, as Jack describes it. Great conversation, good back and forth. They cover all kinds of topics, from the lighthearted to the serious, but it all felt good. Jack was even sensing a bit of longing from Whitney.
Yeah. Yes, there was.
So after walking her to her car and the elbow bump, they say goodbye. Jack's assuming he'll hear from her again. And he reached out a few times via text, but there's been zero response from her. Nothing.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
So we're going to call Whitney and see if we can't figure out why she's been blowing off Jack.
Hello.
Hi, is this Whitney?
Yes, who's this?
Whitney, it's Jeff and Jen at Q102. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing good.
Jeff and Jen from like the radio.
Yep. And Tim's here. The whole gang's here.
Morning.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, are you calling for one of those second date things?
We are indeed. It's your turn.
Oh my God. I was hoping that this one would just kind of like go away and I wouldn't have to deal with it again.
This one, as in the person where I think you're speaking of?
Yeah, I've had a couple like bad first dates recently, but is this the guy? He's like kind of mopey sounding and like, I don't know. He just sounds like he's sad.
I don't know. One could argue. It's all very subjective.
Well, I would say that he's not an overly enthusiastic speaker.
He sounds very nice,
Okay.
very intelligent.
Yeah.
I assume we're talking about Jack.
Yeah, no, he was very nice. He's very he's very smart. Like he's very intellectually smart. I don't know. I just question like his street smarts and his judgment. I don't know. Ugh.
Can you tell us why you say that? Because he said you two had a great conversation, covered a variety of topics, even talked about the sensitive ones, and we were speculating maybe there was something you disagreed on but didn't vocalize it.
Yeah, no, we did. Like the date started out really great. We had really, really great conversation, great eye contact, like great connection. And, you know, like sometimes you have first dates and you're like, I'm not going to tell this person about X, Y, and Z until maybe date 6, right?
Oh, boy.
But he told me something that happened, I don't know, like 10 years ago, and he was like 24. And I know that people can change, and I'm assuming he's changed. I don't know. It was pretty big to me personally. It might not be big to other people, but he used to teach high school. And when I asked him, I was like, oh, why don't you teach high school anymore? And he said that he was forced to resign because he got caught dating one of his students. And I asked him if he had been sleeping with her, and he said, yeah. And, like, maybe to somebody else this would have been fine, but...
Dating a student while she was still in school, or had she, like, she was a former student that graduated?
No, she did not. She had not graduated yet. And I know this is super weird and like super small world, but I dated my high school English teacher, but after I graduated high school. And I just like, there's so much like personal trauma from that I'm like, I can't do this.
Don't you guys ever watch any Lifetime movies?
Why? What happens in the Lifetime movie?
Well, they remake all of these real life stories with the teacher-student thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It was a lot. Like, again, maybe it wouldn't be a lot for somebody else, but it was a lot for me. And I'm not going to be able to move past that.
Yeah.
Jack, you want to respond?
I mean, I understand why it would be like a cringy situation, but again, like I said, she was 18 years old. She is an illegal adult, And I also told you it wasn't a good move. It wasn't a good use of judgment on my part. I know I should have waited until she was graduated, but that's what happens when you're young. I mean, I was 24 and I was stupid, but like I shouldn't have to, like, you know, suffer because of a stupid decision. Like, we're both adults. It was 10 years ago.
Yeah, should you be judged for the rest of your life for something you did when you were 24? That may not have been illegal, but
some would argue highly unethical.
Yes, unethical, immoral.
And I just, like, for me, he was in a position of power, and the context of that, and for him not to recognize that he had this influence over someone, and, you know, maybe or maybe she wasn't a willing participant, but still, like, when you're that young and you're that impressionable, it's just, you know, you have this, like, hero worship, and all your teachers are hot at that age sometimes, at least for me, right? Like, so I don't know. I can't mess with that again. I can't do that.
Well, we appreciate your honesty, Whitney, and thank you for laying that out for us in such an articulate way.
I do have to give him credit, though, for fessing up to that on a first date.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about being honest and vulnerable and forthcoming. I do give you credit for that.
Thanks. I understand where she's coming from. Whitney's right. You guys are right. But how do you guys think I should go about it in future dates?
I mean, when you told her, did you come out and say, you know, so she asks you, why did you leave teaching? Did you say, well, you know what? I made a horrible judgment call. I did something that I regret terribly. And then explain what happened and how it happened. I mean, did you go through all of that, or did you just say, "Well, I was dating one of my students"? And...
By the way, point of interest here.
Yeah, and I mean, how long did that relationship last? I mean, after you were found out, did the relationship end? Did you continue to see her? Did it become like a long-term deal?
It was pretty much short term. You know, towards the summer, it just kind of fizzled out once everything hit the fan. I was in a very dark place in my life at that point. You know, losing your job, something that you worked hard for many years, and it just gets taken away from you because of, you know, a really crappy judgment call.
Well, this is obviously not something that you want to wait to tell someone until you've been in a relationship for months or years, but
well, I don't know. You think?
Yeah, I acknowledge the fact that people grow, but it's not something I would wait too long to tell. I'm not saying you got to tell them on the first date, but if they find out years in the relationship and you never told them, the optics don't look great.
Right.
But Jack, we appreciate you putting yourself out there and for coming on Second Date Update. Best of luck to you, and Whitney, thank you for agreeing to talk to us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Take care and good luck.
Best of luck to you both.
Take care.
All right. If we can